TxStampin Sharon. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the new end colors from Stampin Up. And I'm going to show you some really easy cards that you're just going to go nuts over. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, you can do so below. After you subscribe, hit that little bell. You'll be notified the next time I upload a video. If I can ever help you with any of your Stampin' Up supply needs, let me know. Before I show you the cards, I want to talk to you about end colors. Stampin' Up has come out with new end colors, and they last for 2 years, so it's 2019 to 2021. Oh, that sounds weird to say. But these are the colors. You can get the coordinating cardstock, stamp pad, the ink refill for your stamp pad, and scalloped linen ribbon. I don't have any ribbon yet, so I had to use something else. However, when you look down here at the bottom, you can get an assortment of cardstock. If you don't want a whole pack, you can get, and the end colors come in 12 by 12. Ooh, that's exciting because the new colors come in 12 by 12, but the old colors do not. So every year they rotate these out. In other words, next year, these will go away and then we'll get new ones, okay? So every year we get fresh colors. Love that. You can get the bundle of stamp pads. You can get all 5 stamp pads. You can get the markers that coordinate. You can get the faceted dots that coordinate and in color buttons. The papers that I'm using today are the in color for 2019, 2021. And there's different patterns. So I thought, what a great thing. I'll just make a bunch of cards so that you can maybe see the patterns up close. Plus, I'm going to show them to you here. The other designer series papers that are available, and these are all 6 by 6, are the neutrals, the brads, the subtles, and the regals. Whenever you get these kind of papers, any of these, you're going to be able to use them for all kinds of cards, okay? And again, they coordinate with all of our colors, which that is the thing I love the most about Stampin' Up. Here are those faceted dots, by the way, that I was telling you about that you can get. All right, let's show you my cards because I know you can see them. Look at that. I used a design that I have used before, but if you recall, my video had the butterflies on there. But I just thought it was super fun to use the daisy punch. And here are all the colors. I'm going to talk about that card in just a minute. Here is all of this cardstock with like a full pack of cardstock. But again, you can get an assortment if you don't want all of them, if you don't want that much. And then here's the designer series papers. This is called Terra-Cotta Tile. This is called Seaside Spray. Okay, just a very soft, almost a gray blue. And I love saying this one. It's Rococo Rose. Rococo Rose is a beautiful rose color. Then we have Pretty Peacock. Oh, it's just gorgeous, guys. And oh my gosh, I've got to put on my blog. I went to a little place here locally and they had a peacock and I took pictures of him. So I'm like, oh, I got to get that peacock stamp set because he inspired me. All right, so we're going to talk about this color. This is called Pretty Posy. Pretty Posy is the card. Is this what I use for this card? If you will notice, I don't have the stamp pad. This is the first part of June 2019. And the thing that I love the most about Stampin' Up products is the quality and the fact that if it is not up to Stampin' Up standards, they pull it. The stamp pad that went with this color had a challenge. So they pulled them and they won't be available for a while. We don't have the new release date. But I used just my Memento ink with it because I didn't have the purple Posy. So I think I called that Pretty Posy. It is Purple Posy. So I didn't have that ink pad, but that's okay. I could still use the papers. I could still use the cardstock, okay? I have my layers all done. I will have all the measurements in the description box below, but this is my card base. I just went with a standard. It is 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. I have, I picked this pattern. Oh, I didn't, let me show you all the patterns of the paper. Okay, so we have that one with the gingham on the back. Everybody loves gingham. So we have 2 of those. Actually, I think we had 4 of those. Then we have this one with a little script font. Can't even read what it says, but it's just a real sweet font. And then there's the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get 4 of each pattern. Then we have some more gingham. Okay. And that's a little argyle print. Okay. With some more gingham. And then there's our script again. So I think you can see that just because they're different colors, just using the different patterns, and that's what I did on my cards. So just wanted to point that out to you. So my Whisper White layer is 4 inches by 5 1/4. That is also the size of my gingham or my argyle print, okay? And then I have a piece of the Terra-Cotta Tile that is 3 inches by 4 1/4. My Whisper White layer is 2 3/4 by 4 inches, okay? So the first thing, oh, and I'm using Love What You Do stamp set. I just needed a bunch of thank you cards, so that's why I picked this stamp set. You could use any stamp you want as long as it would fit in that space. So before I go any further, I just want you to see that print? See the gingham? See that sweet script? There's the argyle and more gingham, okay? So all my cards, the layout is the same, but they look different. I'm going to be pulling in the large daisy punch. There is another punch coming in the annual catalog that coordinates with this. It's a little bit smaller. If you notice, my cardstock is about the same width as my punch. So I'm just going to slide this in. And I just take my hands to make sure that I have it lined up. It's not crooked. And then I punch. I did punch fairly close to the bottom. We're going to stamp with the terracotta. These are so new, I haven't even put my little colors in there yet. I've got so many fun toys to play with. I don't have time for that yet. I'll get to it. All right, so we're just going to stamp thank you. Oh goodness, look what I did. The beauty of Stampin' Up! Cardstock is there's 2 sides. I'm just going to do it again, and this time I'll be more careful. Bring this in. Okay, my block looks clean this time, so I should be good. And like I said, I stamped close to the flower because I need to punch and add my ribbon at the top. Next, I want to adhere this layer to this layer. And it's a little tricky because my flower takes up so much of the area at the bottom. Look at that. Nobody but you guys will know that I messed up on the back. Okay, we're looking how we're lining it up, taking our time. Okay, I think that's the thing. People struggle with putting it on too quickly, and then they get it crooked. All right, we're going to add this layer. Oh, before we do, oh goodness, I almost messed up. I get so excited on these videos. I'm so sorry. All right, so since I already put adhesive on the side, I'm just going to come in from the bottom, and I'm going to punch. Okay, this is a paper saving technique. There is no reason to use up another piece of that 6x6 paper because that punch is pretty big. And even though I trimmed this down, this was 6x6, I would need like 7, like 6x7. Okay, so we're going to use that paper saving tip. Now, I pulled in my detailed trio punch, and there's a little oval right there. And I'm just going to take my cardstock. Again, I'm using my fingers to make sure, let's see if I can show you, that it's even with the punch. Okay, so it'll punch in the center. I use my punches a lot for measurements and making sure. So the first time I did that, I thought, oh, that's so close. It works beautifully. I am using the Whisper White polka dot tulle ribbon, and I learned something about this ribbon, and I'm going to show you or share it with you so that you don't do what I did. You know, I probably need to change my title from Queen of Boo Boos to Queen of... Let me show you what not to do. Because, you know, I mean, I have used this ribbon that was in the other catalog. I have used this ribbon a lot. But when I went to go tie this bow, and I'll show you how I fixed it because that's what I do. So I'm getting what? About, let's see, probably about 12 inches. Yeah, it's about 12 inches so that I can tie a bow. Don't tie the bow too tight. I'll show you what happens. I would love to hear your comments. You know, I've been reading some of your comments lately, and I tell you, they just warm my heart. I'm hearing things like people saying they feel like they're listening to a friend, or I'm energetic and it keeps them interested. And that just makes me so happy to know that. I am making a hot mess. Let's see. Okay, we're just going to go with it. I tied it in a knot. I missed my other loop. I'm going to go ahead and cut some of that off. And I'm going to play with my bow. And at this point is where I pulled too tight on my one of my cards. And when I did, I tore that tulle. I was shocked. I was like, oh, and I'd already stuck it on the card, and I was just tightening it up a little bit. Don't tighten it up. It's kind of loose. Leave it loose. I will show you how I fixed it, but I was kind of panicked. I was like, I just ruined that card because I couldn't figure out how to get it all off. Ooh, quit playing with it. All right, so let me just show you the card. Okay, it was this one. And I'd already attached it, and I was just like, oh, let me just tighten it up a little bit. And when I pulled, I shredded that ribbon. So I stuck a glue dot. Can y'all tell that it stuck down? I saved the card, but I was like, oh no. But yeah, little glue dot. And I doubled the glue dot, and it's not sticky or anything. So there you go. There's a little tip for you if you do what I did. All right, so let's add this to our card. Grab some dimensionals. I just felt like this layout, which like I said, is similar to the one I did with the butterfly and the Butterfly Gala stamp set. I just felt like this just really showcased the designer series paper and the colors that you could get in the new catalog. All right, so let's make sure we're opening right. So I want to place this where I hide that, okay? So I'm just going to place this right here, and it's pretty much in the center. All right. So now I'm going to work on my bow a little bit. And again, I don't want to tear it. I'm just going to see if I can pull that in just so it's not sticking off so much. Okay. All right. Leave it alone. All right. So our little gingham daisy that we punched out, we're going to add it with a dimensional. You could do the other side if you want to. But I like the gingham, so I'm going to stick with the gingham that's going to be showing on the front. And then you just want to offset this, okay, so that there's the terracotta petal and then the gingham petal and all of that. The last thing I thought, oh, it needs something. We have these clear faceted jewels, and I thought, perfect. There you have it. So the last thing I need to do is to add my Whisper White layer on the inside. Because again, that's just too dark. And I'm just using the regular Whisper White. I'm not using the thick. There's no reason for that. And there you have it. All right, guys, I hope you love these colors like I do. So how many of these cards do you think you can crank out? I cranked out the 5 that I showed you in about 30 minutes, but that was with cutting, and actually I had to design it first. But anyway, happy stamping, y'all.